All right, Jason. Donovan Mitchell was out of this world last night. 46 points, 15 to 21 from the floor, 6 to 10 from three, 10 to 10 from the free throw line. He could not miss. Now, for anyone who did miss his post-game press conference, I got to fill you guys in on what happened. Ethan Sands asked the first question, and Ethan was like, Don, best game of the season, hard to play much better. Anything happened before or anything during the game that kind of locked you in? And Donovan admitted that he was playing NBA 2K online before the game, was in the playground, which means you're 1 out of 5. So you're playing as one person and you're teaming up with randoms. And he teamed up with some random person who was talking shit to him for 2 hours straight. The guy told Donovan, I ain't seen you have a highlight in forever, bro. And Don made it a point to go out and shut this guy up. And he did everything except drop the guy's gamer tag last night. But he admitted he's in the playground. So if you ever see Donovan Mitchell in the playground, there's a very good chance you actually are playing with Donovan Mitchell.
I wouldn't put the game that I had based on the court. This kid pissed me off today. I was playing 2K. I've been playing 2K for like 2 hours, and I told him too. I was like, wait, just wait. And he just called me washed up. He called me a bunch of things, but I love it. You know what I mean? He said he ain't seen a highlight from me in a minute, and I just told him, all right, we'll see. He said, tell me to go to sleep. Like he was going in. So this game was for that kid or grown man, whoever that was. But so I appreciate you. I told him I'd give him a shout out too. So that's what tonight was.
Hey Donovan, do you remember the 2K Trash Talkers username?
I didn't want to give him that. I'm not going to give him all that. No, I'm not giving him that much attention. But he knows who he is. It was a long game, long discussion. We were going back and forth. He probably clipped it too, so it might be on the internet or somewhere. But I made sure that I gave him his props for that. I appreciate it.
I don't know anything about this.
Okay.
Is it really say like Donovan Mitchell?
So you have a gamer tag. So just like you have a username on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I'm not a gamer. Like I need Earl or Ant here to help me confirm. But like, yeah, you have a gamer tag. I believe NBA players do have like an NBA player verification badge. So like Tyrese Proctor plays, and Tyrese Proctor posts clips of him playing all the time.
That's so cool for like kids or people that are into that. I can't imagine 30 years ago, 40 years ago, for me being able to just hoop online with NBA players or pro athletes. That's wild, man.
And
I saw the clip and I was like, well, how do they know that it's him?
Yeah, well, the guy, Donovan said the guy didn't believe him at first. And after 2 hours, he was like, I guess you actually are Donovan. Donovan's like, I got to go. I have a game and I got to run. It was hysterical. I highly recommend watching Donovan's post-game press conference. He's awesome with the media. But yeah, he literally said he was inspired because some kid or grown man, he's like, I'm not even sure how old this guy was talking shit to me for 2 hours before the game, and I wanted to shut him up. So shout out Donovan. You did just that. Jason, I asked Donovan, though, and I'm curious what you think on this, because you and I have talked about this last year. We talked about this after the Atlanta game. He's playing a different brand of basketball at this stage of his career than he has in the past. Yes. His drives, last year we talked about being down. I did a whole breakdown before the Oklahoma City series, when the regular season series, about how his rim shot attempt frequency was down and his field goal percentage around the rim was down as well. This year it's down again, Jason. It's down even further than it was the last 2 years, and his frequency, even though his efficiency has gone slightly up. So I asked him, like, Don, and he moved much better last night. The hamstring, 2 days off, seemed to feel a lot better. I thought he was a little more explosive, was able to get by guys and create separation. But I said, Don, taking a lot of jump shots, you're shooting out of this world right now. Is this kind of the blueprint for you in the early season to have offensive success in your most efficient manner? And he was like, frankly, Mike, yeah, it is. Like, I understand that I'm not going to be able to dunk on people 3 times a game for 82 games. Like, my body just can't withstand that kind of punishment anymore. So that's why I'm getting my little crab dribble, little scoop dribble, whatever you want to call it, into the paint and shooting more floaters than I ever have in my life. Like, I'm purposely trying to save some wear and tear on my body. And my jump shot feels so good out of my hand right now that I could create separation side to side. I may not be able to create it vertically like I used to, but I can create it side to side. And I feel so confident in those shots, whether it be the mid-range or from beyond the arc. Now I'm going to keep taking them. And if they're going to go in like they did tonight, then yeah, I'm going to have some incredible results. And I appreciate the honesty from Donovan. He easily could have said, no, I just felt like shooting tonight. The fact that he even mentioned that I'm being a little cautious with my body, I think is the kind of transparency you want from a superstar. And 2, yeah, when you're making jump shots at the rate he is, keep shooting. Is it sustainable? I don't know. But I kind of agree with Donovan that, at least for right now, this is by far the most efficient, effective way for Don to preserve his body for when it really matters while still playing at an MVP level.
So it's funny that and he kind of mentioned that after the Atlanta game too. He talked about he's not really dunking right now to save his body, to save wear and tear on his body. That it's more the floater game than it is dunks. But as you were talking, as he was sort of acknowledging the changes within his game and his body, and he can't do what he used to, I was sitting here thinking, did I tell you about the afternoon after practice in Detroit when I sat with Dwayne Wade for about 25 minutes?
You've told me bits and pieces, but I can guarantee you the audience has not heard that part of the story.
It was one of the best conversations. It was without question the best conversation I ever had with Dwayne because he wasn't here that long. But it was a Sunday practice, and the Cavs were in Detroit, and they were at I forget the name of it. It doesn't matter. They were at a high school in Detroit. So I drive up, and Dwayne's knees are wrapped in ice, and the ice bags are melting. And he didn't even practice that day. Like, he didn't even practice, and he's still icing his knees. And he's at the end of his career. And I just remember watching the bags drip like an IV bag. I remember the water dripping off the bag. And he said, when I first got in the league, I could just explode and dunk standing still, straight up dunk. He said, then I needed one dribble to get up. And I needed two dribbles to get up. And just the way that he acknowledged and embraced, and remember, Dwayne had the surgeries too, that messed him up in college and really sort of cut short his career, I think. But the way that he sort of acknowledged, I can't do the things I used to do, even prior to that conversation I had with him 2 or 3 years prior to that, and being able to adapt his game. I remember LeBron saying, like, how hard it is for guys of Dwayne's stature who have accomplished what Dwayne accomplished to be able to be real with themselves and to be honest with themselves that, I need 3 dribbles now to get up. And I feel like Donovan is starting to go. Donovan's not old by any means, but for him to have the self-awareness to be able to acknowledge, I can't do what I used to. I might need more dribbles to get that explosion. And of course, one of the players he idolized was Dwayne. It's just sort of, it's fascinating to me, the correlation there. And it's even more reason why you and I have kept saying, like, Evan's got to be the guy. Evan's got to be the guy. Donovan can still get you the buckets. I mean, listen, he had 46 last night. He's still an incredible
last night.
Yeah. And he's going to have games like that. But I don't know that Donovan is going to strap a franchise to his back and do it 7 nights in a row in a series and then do it 7 nights again and then do it 7 nights again. We just have to be honest and realistic with where things are and where he is. And when you got to have it, he'll give it to you. But I don't know that it's wise to count on him to give it to you 82 times in the regular season and then 16 more times in the playoffs. So it's one of the fascinating things to watch this year with him. I know there's I just think interest in general is down with the Cavs right now.
For sure. Because
of how last season ended, because we've gotten to the point of it's playoffs or nothing else matters. We've noticed it at The Athletic for sure with some of the numbers on interest is really, really down. But one of the things to watch for me this year is Donovan's evolution as a player, if you will, and the way that they talked about what incredible shape he was in early on, and they had to pull him back a little bit, whatever. But just seeing how he can guide this team when he takes his shots and when he sort of pulls back and tries to, whether it's Evan or Darius or whoever, make someone else sort of be that guy that emerges. But it's happening. There's no slowing it down. He is changing. His game is changing. His body is changing. And it's good for him. I remember Ty Lue saying the hardest thing to do is to coach an aging superstar. And again, I don't want to make it sound like Donovan is over the hill and past his prime and at the end of his career. But just having the self-awareness to being able to recognize I'm not the same player I was 5 or 6 years ago is only a good thing, and it's only beneficial to him and the team.
Could not agree more. I also just want to acknowledge what he did last night, because it was an offensive masterclass to the highest degree. I'm serious. It was, I believe, he had 8 assists to 1 turnover. He had 46 points. He shot 15 to 21 from the floor. 15 to 21, by the way. This is a 6'2" guard who just admitted he's not dunking the ball. He actually tried to windmill it after the whistle. And in the post-game press conference, he said that was stupid. I don't know why I did that. And he blamed the 2K game. Honest to God, he blamed the 2K game. It was incredible. Jason, everywhere he wanted to get to, he was able to create separation. Every shot that left his hand looked good. Even the ones he missed. And as, once again, I played D3 basketball. I am not trying to say I'm Donovan Mitchell at all. You can tell when you miss and it's just slightly long and it's a good shot versus one like you're missing and it's off. Every one of his misses last night just hit the back iron. Like just half an inch too far. None of them were off to the side. I don't remember any bad misses. I know one was an end of shot clock shot that he just kind of put up, but like that happens to every superstar in the league. It was as good of a game as I've ever seen Donovan Mitchell play, and I was not in the arena for the 70-point game. So that is by far his creme de la creme, his shining moment in Cleveland.
I was. That was unbelievable.
So I can't say I saw that in person. Outside of that, Jason, I would argue that was his best game in a Cavaliers uniform. And Kenny pointed out that not only is he doing this on the offensive end, but if you look at the defensive metrics, Donovan's taken a giant step up in all the tracking metrics that the Cavs care about. Not the stuff that we care about. And I think I want to make this distinction because there's a gigantic gap between what we watch on TV and say good or bad defense versus what the Cavs are actually tracking and what they consider a good or bad defensive possession. We don't know what they're trying to force. We don't know what they're trying to angle and isolate on a single defensive possession. And sometimes the guy may get blown by or may get beaten off the dribble, gives up a pull-up jump shot, whatever. But if that's the shot they're trying to get the defense to take, or the offense to take, then that marks down as a win for said player. And Kenny said last night, not only is Donovan playing at an MVP level offensively, but he's taken gigantic leaps defensively in the metrics that we track. And I haven't necessarily noticed that from the eye test. It's too early. I'm just not paying attention specifically to individual defensive efforts outside of Jalen Tyson, who's full court. But he's the best guard in the East right now, Jason, and arguably the second best player behind Giannis. Like, he's not Giannis. I'm not sure there's anyone in the East you're taking over Don at number 2. And he did that against Tyrese Maxey last night, who was in that conversation. And after last night, Maxey's incredible. Don't get me wrong. It's Don. It's nobody in my mind.
I can't dispute it right now. Long way to go, and we'll see how he holds up the rest of the way. But yeah, I think Kenny said that, like, who in the East is better than Don right now, and it's fair. He's playing great.